Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Bodcast. It is episode 124 and we thought we'd talk about the Bricklink Designer Program because...
You thought that?
I thought that, yes. I'm joined by my wife who doesn't think that.
She just thinks it's time for bed. But...
There is that. It might seem weird talking about it now considering that our previous episode, which Harry will link up now, we spent an hour talking about it, but we didn't really. We spent an hour looking at the latest round.
Yes.
You know, there were 185 entries.
Which is too many. By at least 100.
Yeah. To keep that under an hour, you have to spend less than 20 seconds looking at each one.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to go through. And so we are not trying to do an in-depth review of each one.
No, very much not.
This is we're sitting down, we're looking through it, which ones of these are we interested in, which ones do we hope make it through, you know, and so we are very quickly just ignoring some that we go, yes, we don't care about them.
Or snap reactions.
Yeah.
Which is based purely on the images we see.
Yes.
It's the one image, and that's it.
Yeah. And so I think, you know, we get a lot of comments. It's quite weird. We get comments from people who have participated in it and put things up, talking about that we're harsh or that we're not, you know, looking at stuff in enough detail. We've had people who have said, oh, you really need to look at the pictures in this entry because they show it off really well and it's got these features that you didn't know about. And it's like, well, we didn't know about them because they're not in that first picture.
Yeah.
And I think...
It's marketing 101.
Yeah.
Put your best stuff in your main picture.
Yeah.
I do wonder whether it's part of the way you upload it to Lego, or Bricklink even, whether it's not clear which is the best, what you're putting first.
Yeah.
But
I think if there were, 10 submissions, then obviously we'd look at them in more detail. We'd probably go into them and look at the internal pictures. So I think that the people who are entering need to understand that. They need to understand that there will be a lot of people who are just going to look at it and they're just going to glance at a page full and maybe go, oh, I like that one.
Yeah. Not everyone is going to have an opinion on every single set.
No.
Like, I think last week we should have looked in advance at how many there were and maybe just pre-selected a bunch that we wanted to talk about a bit more. I don't know.
Maybe.
But we are sitting down as a sort of our review. That's kind of what we're sharing, so...
But anyway, so I thought today we'd talk a little bit more about how we feel the programme is going. It's very odd that we're in the third round of this.
And not a single set has been made yet.
And you can't even pre-order the first round yet.
So it's really hard to know how it's going when nothing is completed.
Yes.
For me, it just feels like they're making a big pile of work for themselves. And we have to trust them.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
No.
Especially when like such awesomeness, like the Mushroom House, is in there somewhere. I don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
But it's just a lot, and you're seeing things like in the latest round we reviewed like that modern house that we said was like a grand designs house, and the teapots which had little lids on the cups and stuff. Both of those designs were in the previous round.
Yeah.
And have now been selected for the mock pop-up shop.
Yes.
So it's all very inbred.
Yeah, so it's slightly weird. The teapot set from the third round, the one teapot from that set was entered into the second round and is available in the mock pop-up store. So you can get that one now, but if it goes through, you could get it now and then pre-order the set in 2032.
Or is it being in the mock pop-up store... Essentially, Lego's saying like we're not going to choose this, but we think it's good.
I'm guessing they made the decision to choose it before the person resubmitted it because there's nothing to stop you submitting an entry. It would seem, even if it's in the mock pop-up.
Yeah, it seems very strange, and so I just feel like there's too much going on, and no clarity on what what will happen.
Yeah.
So you want to maybe, if you really like those teapots, you'd want to buy them on the mock pop-up store to guarantee you'll get them, because they might not make it through.
Yes.
Or will the enhanced design with the 2 teapots and the 2 cups also make it to the mock pop-up store? Like, there's no obviousness from the whole thing.
No.
And there's just too many things going on at once. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And there's lots of really good designs on there.
Yeah.
We can't buy them all.
No.
It's just madness is what it
Yeah. Is it the slightly weird thing that, you know, if you look at Lego sets from 5 years ago,
2018,
they will, you know, in certain cases, they will look dated compared to the ones that are out now.
yes.
Because there is that lag, there are better pieces, people come up with different techniques, you know, things change, and so even just in that relatively short space of time you can see a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I worry is going to happen with these things, that they take so long that by the time you get the first round ones, they'll already look dated.
Yeah, they'll be subpar based on round 5 that they're on.
Yeah.
Or something. Or series. Just to clarify all the terms.
Yes.
It's series 1, 2 and 3 that have already happened.
Yeah.
And I don't think people are going to remember to go back and order them either, because there's so many going on at once.
Yeah, I can see that happening, that people who were really excited about them will, for whatever reason, not be paying attention when they come up, and so therefore they won't be able to get them, and then people are just going to be upset that a set that they really liked they couldn't get hold of.
I mean, what are they trying to achieve by constantly doing them and having that cadence of...
Is it because if they only did like one a year, there'd be so many more entries? Do they think by having every 3 months people can't... But then the fact that you can resubmit entries means that over the year you're getting a lot more entries in, because you've got duplications or slight
Yeah, people are just
tweaks
hoping
and
that if
stuff.
they put it in enough times, it'll get through.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems a lot. And another headache of, if you're in the Lego hobby, something to keep up with. Like, we're already trying to keep up with the Lego sets, and my advice is don't ever try and keep up with all of them. Just pick your themes. But we've got quite broad themes, so it's tricky. Then you're adding in the Bricklink ones. And yes, not every Bricklink set is for us.
Yeah.
We like quite a lot of them. So, and because they're limited runs and limited time, you kind of feel like you should get them just in case. Like if it turns out that's the perfect one for that space in your city, but you didn't get it, it's kind of irritating.
But then you've also got that, you know, we bought the chalet.
Yeah.
And now this year's Winter Village set is kind of very thematically is the same.
Yeah, it's like a chalet.
Yeah, obviously they are different. The one is a much more complicated build.
Yeah.
But as I say, thematically they're the same. You could go, if you wanted a winter chalet inn thing, either one of them works.
Yeah. And so you wouldn't want to have both of them, because I don't think enough people visit our Winter Village for them to have 2 little lodgings.
Yeah. There's a lot of vacancies.
Yeah.
But you don't have the time to consider it in some ways.
Well,
you've got ages between knowing about the set and voting on it and actually pre-ordering. But at the same time, as soon as it's available for pre-order, you've got very little time to actually make that final decision.
Yeah, because you don't want to miss out. There's limited run.
Because again, this isn't crowdfunding. In crowdfunding, you make the number that people want.
Yeah. Which just seems like a smarter move. But I know it's to do with, like, planning, isn't it?
Yes.
Lego. They've got a certain number of machines available to spit out parts.
Yeah.
They can't double that if it's a really popular set kind of thing. So it's just odd.
It is.
And I think... Sorry, a massive spider is just about to land on your head, Ian. Could you maybe catch that before it hits the ground, please, somehow? Not in your hand, you weird man. What did you do?
What?
You're the... Oh, that's creepy. Get rid of the spider. Get rid of the spider. Do you want to see it scrapped?
I don't know.
Do you think it's more hassle than it's worth?
I maybe.
There was already rebrickable.
Yeah.
If you wanted to design something and sell the stuff. There was already Lego ideas.
Yep.
Why did they make the Bricklink Designer Program?
To try and combat rebrickable?
Just buy rebrickable.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a lot.
Is that the way we should see it? That this is rebrickable, we don't do rebrickable, and so we shouldn't do this?
But, I mean, with rebrickable, you're buying instructions and you have to get your own parts.
Yeah.
I like the thought of buying a set, and that's what the Bricklink Designer Program, not the mock pop-up shop, that is closer to rebrickable. The Bricklink Designer Program gives you a set.
It does.
But it's not designed by Lego.
It's not. So we've not yet seen like the build quality and the stability that we're going to get from these sets. We know that the Invitational, the Lego designers were involved and were helping.
But there was still an inconsistency on the quality of the sets.
Yeah.
So, was it the Pursuit of Flight? I'm sure people... No, the shipping boat, maybe. People were saying was really awful to build.
The fishing boat.
Yeah, I think it was a fishing boat. So, it's just a risk.
Yeah. This is the thing, because you having to pre-order it, you can't see any actual reviews of the set. So, you are hoping that the designer does a good job of designing it and selling it and portraying it realistically.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way I'm tapping out of the Bricklink Designer Program until I've got my mushroom house there.
Right.
Just to clarify.
Yes.
But I guess it was partly done also to combat the fact that everyone supports these ideas on Lego ideas and they don't make enough of them and people get upset.
But then they could have continued the Invitational. So it's only sets that have hit 10k that can go onto it.
Yeah. That's true, because this is not having that 10k supporters, is it? It's just people vote for it and we pick 5.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. So maybe, why did they not continue with that style? Like that, I guess that works.
I don't know. I mean, it worked to a degree.
In what way did it not work?
Also, as we've said, when you are putting an entry in for Lego ideas, it can be, held together with hope. All you have to do is be able to submit a picture, and that's what they do. They don't look at it and go, well, actually, that's a complete mess and doesn't hold together, because if they like the idea, they will solve that problem for you.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, you have to solve that problem yourself. But Lego need to first of all identify that is a problem.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what tools they're using for that. So I know that, Studio already has some tools in it for doing stability checks and things like that. So I don't know if they've just enhanced those or whether they have something more complicated they can do.
So do you think, having not been through the program ourselves, we could learn something from submitting an idea? Like, would we get more of an insight into the behind the scenes of it?
Yeah. I mean, we were toying with the idea of submitting something as a kind of challenge rather than so coming up with, a random theme and then we have to put a submission together.
Yeah.
That does sound like it would be fun.
You're
less sure.
I'm less sure about it being fun because me and Studio we're not friends.
Right.
And you have to use Studio for this, right?
Yeah.
Because that's where your palette is. And, you have to submit it via studio files, I believe.
Yeah.
So it would be tricky. I guess I could build something and get you to put it into studio for me.
Yes.
But I don't know. I just think it might give us a bit more insight into the steps involved.
Yeah.
But I'm not overly bothered about anyone ever being able to buy something I've made.
You're not.
No.
You won't be proud to see it.
I think it would be pretty cool, actually. But I also don't think I could take the criticism from random YouTubers.
Who is that? Yeah.
Turns out the Brickbods suck at mocking. And then, like, no, it's fine. I don't know. I don't think I have an idea either. Apart from, what was my other one? An underground mole house thing. Do you remember that I talked about that?
No, I don't remember this. But that's why, as I said, we come up with a random theme generator, pluck a word out, and that's the theme that we have to build to.
Pluck just a word?
Yep, just a word.
Okay.
And what were the rules?
The word is going to be castle. No, we were specifically saying there was too many castles, too many trains,
and
too
many modulars.
Yeah.
So it can't be any of those.
So it has to be something completely different.
Yeah.
Like a meerkat. That doesn't look like a meerkat.
Yes. Exactly. Just like a meerkat that doesn't look like a meerkat.
Simples. Yeah. It's just another thing to do, though.
It is.
Like, our Lego hobby is... the whole point of us doing Lego was to create a city. And we've got very much into all the different aspects of doing Lego now.
Yes.
And I don't think we've updated the city in a very long time.
That is true.
And, like, it's sad. I want to do some city stuff.
You want to do some... Well, we can do some city stuff.
I also want to, like, have space
Yeah.
in every room. There's just too many things. Lego's overwhelming.
It is.
The Bricklink Designer Program is overwhelming.
It is.
The whole thing is just too much. I love Lego. It's just a lot, isn't there?
Yeah.
So we're getting to the end of the year where you've got to get all the retiring sets in before they go. And you've got to think about all the new stuff that's coming.
Yeah. We're also getting into the whole sales stuff.
Yeah.
With, Black Friday coming up.
Yeah.
And all the fun that entails.
Yeah. So it's like a full-time job, this Lego thing.
Mm.
What do you do if you have a full-time job and you want to do Lego at the same time? Because, like, I have the time. I don't think I have full-time hours. Because obviously I have children to look after.
Mm.
But, yeah, it's just a lot. What could I do on the school run to help with the Lego stuff that I'm doing? Because I spend like an hour in the car twice a day.
I don't know.
But I haven't got, like, a way of... I can't build Lego in that hour.
No. While you're driving.
So it just feels like wasted time.
Mm. You can listen to exciting podcasts like ours.
There's not many Lego podcasts out there, though.
There's loads of Lego podcasts out there.
It's not.
Yeah, there are.
No, there's not.
Oh.
Ours is the only one.
Ours is clearly the best one. but there are others out there.
But like, I don't think that's going to help me with like mock ideas and stuff.
No.
Or how to better organise my space.
No. I don't think there is anything that you can do.
It's definitely not going to help me make a Bricklink Designer Program entry in Studio.
No. Obviously you can, dictate your thoughts.
What, like with a dictaphone?
Yeah.
Oh, that's retro.
It is.
You used to have a dictaphone.
I did.
Did you actually ever listen back to the stuff you recorded? You
Yeah.
had it. Oh, okay. I've never had a dictaphone.
No. Don't know where mine is.
Upstairs, maybe?
Yeah. But yeah, so while you're driving along, you could just chat to
Note
yourself.
to self. Lego.
Yeah.
That would be weird. So, we're saying there's too much Bricklink Designer Program, but we're not ready to jump out of it yet.
No. What I would like to see is for them to slow it down.
And have some fun.
Maybe do it, twice a year, but then also tighten it up so that the gap between voting or the selection of the 5 sets and the actual crowdfunding bit is much shorter.
Yeah. Keep that interest. Like, oh look, we're really excited about these things getting through. Now I can actually buy them.
And so what we don't know is what actually happens during that period. Is that when they're doing the stability checks and that's when the builders are having to improve it to make it more stable? In which case, make them do that before anyone can vote on it. Have a more rigorous entry criteria.
But if you're making everyone do that, that's annoying for them if they then don't get through. But then you shouldn't be allowing non-stable stuff in.
Yeah.
So
there'd be less entries coming through in that case. And the people who are really going to put in the effort to make sure it works, they're still going to do that. And so that means that as soon as they're voted on, Lego can go off, select their 5, and then open it up to crowdfunding almost straight away. I'd guess there's still got to be some kind of scheduling, because they'll have to work out, well, this set is going to take this long production run per 100 units kind of thing, and so therefore they'd need to do a bit of that.
Yeah. Why not also anyone who's... If you've passed the stability test, you can sell your instructions no matter what. Because there will be someone who wants to buy every single set, surely. Not one person that wants to buy them all, but
for every set there'll be one person.
Yeah, at least one person. And if they've gone to all the effort to make it really stable and get those instructions tight, reward them and don't put them in the mock pop-up shop, but have an instructions only option for anything that's ever in there.
Yes.
If the designer wishes to do it.
So again, we don't know what the criteria for the mock pop-up shop was.
No.
Whether it was, there were some pieces which they were allowed to use in their palette, but actually there aren't large quantities of them on Bricklink, and therefore they didn't want those in the mock pop-up because it'd be really hard to source the pieces.
That seems like a lot of data mining to work out that.
Yeah, but data mining.
Yeah.
Get some people on it.
Just that's a lot of logistics there in my head.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Or whether there was a case of going, these have to be, they went through and went, if we actually tried to do this at the moment, it would cost this much, and that's ridiculous. Kind of thing. They had to only choose ones where they thought that the price range was somewhat reasonable.
I mean, none of them are reasonable, just to clarify.
Yeah.
They might be in the US, but they're not here. Although last time we said they might be in the US, someone from the US said they're not reasonable there either.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But, yeah. Or I'm wondering whether they maybe need someone who curates the entries a bit more than they are at the moment. So I know that they do it to an extent. So we've spoken to people who've had to resubmit their entry multiple times because they were told that it was too dark, and yet we still see a lot come through that are too dark. So stuff like that.
They might not be dark, but the renders they end up with are quite dark.
No, but that's what they're submitting.
Right.
It's the renders, and they go, no, that render's too dark, you need to lighten it.
Right.
But there's also, and obviously they're doing some, you'd hope they're doing some kind of sensible check of, does it involve nudity? Does it involve drug taking? All of those kind of things that you're not allowed to do. So there's got to be that level, but whether there needs to be something more than that, and people just go, no, this doesn't pass the quality level needed or the originality level needed.
Originality? Ooh, that would be interesting. Yeah, we've already seen 3,000 castles, sorry.
Yeah. Because I'm wondering what would happen if someone put in something that looked very similar to Cafe Corner. They remade Cafe Corner with parts that you could use from the palette and called it something else. Would that be allowed through? Cafe on the Corner.
Yes, that's it.
Would that make it through, and then people could vote on it, and that's a way of getting an old retired set, essentially, in a kind of cheeky way?
Now you've given people ideas. We should do it and see. Yeah. It's interesting. That would be cheeky. Very cheeky.
Because I was thinking we saw, one of the trains that went through, from my kind of uneducated viewpoint.
Yeah, I'm such an uneducated person.
Yeah, looked
Like the Emerald Knight.
looked like the Emerald Knight. And it's like, is that just someone wanting the Emerald Knight?
Yeah, let's design
And making
something
a train that looks like the Emerald Knight and hoping that people like the Emerald Knight, they'd like that and it would get selected. I'm sure a train expert can come in and explain that it's very different to the Emerald Knight and that, you know, the piston pattern is
The piston
completely unique.
The piston pattern's peculiar on this one, but
I
not...
don't know, do trains have pistons? It seems like the kind of thing they should have.
I don't know if there's such a thing as a piston pattern.
The pattern of the pistons.
The pattern of the pistons?
Yeah.
That's the pattern, the piston pattern. Oh my goodness. Why on earth? Okay, perhaps we can stop talking about piston patterns.
Okay.
And go to bed.
And go to bed. Okay.
I don't think we can solve it, Ian.
No.
I think we just get that mushroom house and then skedaddle. We get three of them. I don't know why.
We can only get 2 of them.
We get 7 of them. We make up fake names. You can have 2. I can have 2. The kids can have 2 each. That's 8.
Yeah.
That's lots. We take over the world with mushrooms.
Yes. Okay. So if you have any thoughts on the programme, on what you actually, whether you would like us to do more in-depth reviews of some of them, like go through and put in the work to find our favourites and do reviews on those.
Put in the work?
I know. I know. It's shocking, isn't it?
Literally just said we have too much to do.
Yeah.
But okay, if that's what they want.
Yeah, or whether the way that we quickly rattle through them in under an hour, is a sensible way to do it. What people think should happen, whether people are happy with the process. Just leave comments, let us know. We'll have a chat.
Whether you want us to stop talking about the Bricklink Designer Program forevermore.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting program. We just don't get it.
Yeah.
Like there's too much to think about.
If you think that the mushroom house is overhyped.
Hey, no. I don't want to hear a word against my mushroom house.
And so we'll be back with another exciting episode next week. But until then, obviously, you can catch up on the
previous episodes.
They're all available everywhere now. Is that true?
Will you stop saying this? No. Do you want to do that piece of work?
No.
No. There are some. They're all available on YouTube.
They're all available on YouTube, and some of them are available somewhere.
Yes. Like down the back of your sofa.
Yeah. We'll catch you again next week.
Bye.
Bye.